Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaki and today I'm going to be doing the Big Mouth book tag. Now, I don't know if anyone else has done this. I haven't seen it on BookTube, so I'm going to go ahead and say this is a very original tag. I'll be tagging some people at the end. If you want to see them, you're going to have to stick until the end. They are in the description box below if you can't wait, but I'll leave their links below and I really hope that they do this. So the first prompt is all about the Hormone Monster, aka Maurice, and this prompt is all about finding a character who is sexually liberated.
Now let's watch McConaughey bang two meth heads at a rodeo and try not to think about AIDS. Andrew?
Yeah?
I'm thinking about AIDS.
So this character doesn't have to be like Maurice, they don't have to be male, they just have to be sexually liberated. And for this one, I decided to go with Feyre from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Maybe not in this book, but in books to come. This is the only one I've read. But I've heard that Feyre becomes sexually liberated or something. But I decided to go with Feyre because she knows what she wants and she knows how to get it. So I decided to go with Feyre because I like Feyre and she's quite attractive. And I feel like anyone who is sexually liberated is kind of attractive. The next prompt surrounds Andrew.
Oh my god, isn't this exciting?
There's no time for excitement. We gotta find the egg. Where are we? Fallopian tube? Uterus?
We're in a pussy right now, right?
You guys are gonna be really disappointed.
Are we in another sock?
Nothing to do with books. I have an Andrew Globerman pop vinyl Funko Pop and he is the best thing in the entire world. The prompt to do with Andrew is to pick an insecure character, which I found heartbreaking to find. This one I decided to go with Erin from The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. I know I talk about this book so much and way too much and I feel like every single tag I just talk about the same like 3 books. I decided to go with Erin because she's quite insecure in this book. No spoilers. Something happens to her and she kind of like takes away from her actual personality. She starts to get really insecure, which is what I feel like Andrew does a lot in Big Mouth, is the fact that he's actually like really fun loving and like a really good friend, but because he's insecure it kind of ruins things for him and he kind of sees things in the wrong way because of his insecurity. I actually feel like she reminds me of Andrew in some ways, so yeah, for this one I'm going to pick Erin from The Nowhere Girls. The next prompt is to do with Nick, and this one is to scout out a character who is big mouthed. Get it? Big mouth. Oh,
You are a bad friend!
Oh, fuck, me and my big mouth.
Big mouth.
That's the show. That's the show.
Hey, you. You're home on the elliptical watching this. I see you.
But Nick for me is a character that very much is a people pleaser and he does things when he thinks that like they're right but they end up being wrong. An example will come clear what this prompt means, but basically pick a character who is either loudmouthed or big mouthed or has the right intention but it always kind of goes away from their favour. To make it a bit clearer, I've gone with Peter Kavinsky from the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy, all by Jenny Han. Peter Kavinsky to me is very much a Nick. He's the main character, but he's kind of like the main character's love interest or best friend, and I feel like Peter has the best intentions but things don't necessarily go in his way. Like Genevieve, she's trying to support her in her family issues but then it looks like he's cheating on Lara Jean. The next prompt is Jessi, so this one is to pick a character who is either struggling with their mental health or a book that surrounds mental health issues.
You're the one crying.
Stop
Please.
it. Stop being so mean
Well, then
to me.
stop fucking up my life, you short-necked bitch!
Go to your room.
I'm already in my room! You go to your room!
This one I decided to go with Am I Normal Yet by Holly Bourne, or more specifically the main character Evie. So the main character Evie struggles with OCD and she's really like back on the bandwagon to being normal. But what is normal? I think that Evie is very much like Jessi because of the way that she feels like she always has this expectation to live up to and she feels like all of her life is crumbling before her eyes. Jessi goes through a really big divorce in the first season. I'm not going to give too many spoilers away, but she goes through quite a big divorce and I feel like although Evie doesn't go through a big divorce and her parents are still together, she goes through quite a lot of, you know, situations where she has to like be a certain way, and I'm trying not to spoil both of these things. Talking about just a book non-spoilery, yeah, I can do it. Talking about a TV show and a book non-spoilery, it's very difficult. All of the Spencer series, which is Am I Normal Yet, kind of series by Holly Bourne, basically about 3 girls called Evie, Lottie and Amber, and they basically are all feminists and they create this thing called a Spinster Club, and that reminds me of Jessi as well, how Jessi is a feminist and it's always questioned with Jessi, like with the Shame Wizard, and I feel like it's always questioned in this as well. And I really love the Spencer series and I really love Jessi. I just feel like Jessi has loads of time to grow and so does Evie, so that kind of makes sense. The next prompt is Jay. Pick a controversial character or just a controversial book in general.
Oh, she was your friend.
Then she was your lover. Now she's your enemy.
Please stop quoting your dad's divorce lawyer commercial.
The controversial book I decided to go with is Who Run the World by Virginia Burgeon. I have a whole spoiler-free review of this when I read it for the Booktubeathon, so I'll link that below. But this is basically a book about a disease that wipes out the whole of man. The only sex that's left is women. And basically women live without men and they do really well without them, except the main character finds a boy and they're supposed to be dead and they don't really know what's going on. A lot of controversy has arisen from this book due to its obviously sex politics and whether it's sexist towards men or not. Obviously there are more controversial books that would fit Jay's character, but I feel like this is the only real one that I could find. The sixth prompt is Missy. Pick a nerdy character or a nerdy plotline.
Oh boy, oi, 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 oi.
You okay over there, Missy?
This book is really good.
And for this one, I decided to go with Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is all about fan culture and writing fan fiction. Although I don't really feel like Kath is like Missy in any sort of way, I feel like this is just all about nerd culture and it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific character. But yeah, for this one is Fangirl. The next prompt is Coach Steve. Pick a character who is unintentionally hilarious. I think we all love and know Coach Steve for his one-liners and him being fucking hilarious without him actually meaning to be. This one might not make sense because this character and Coach Steve are nothing alike. Well, they don't have to be alike, they just have to be unintentionally hilarious.
Oh no! There's a naked lady in here! Did I walk into the triangle body locker room again?
So for this prompt, I decided to go with Simon from the Mortal Instruments series, and more specifically, City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. I am not saying, in any stretch of the imagination, is Simon anything like Coach Steve, because he isn't. However, they have some things in common. They're always looking for a best friend, especially in this one Simon is, and they don't really have one. They don't feel like anybody else. They don't feel like they fit in. Simon really feels the front of this, and I feel like if Coach Steve was more mature and more aware of his surroundings, he would also be very bothered by it. I feel like, especially in City of Fallen Angels, Simon is so fucking hilarious because this is kind of in Simon's point of view, kind of, sort of. We kind of delve more into his brain and his sense of humour, and I feel like some of the things he says, his one-liners and some scenarios that he finds himself in are just hilarious. Next prompt is the Hormone Monstress, aka Connie. This one we have to pick an independent female character.
Hello, my precious little ravioli.
Why do you smell so good?
Because I don't use deodorant and I only take bubble baths.
Oh shit, my golf ball!
I feel like I talk about this book all the time on the channel, and that is Only Happens in the Movies by Holly Bourne. Audrey wants to study film and she wants to be a director, but she fucking hates the way that romance and women are portrayed in the media and in movies. So she goes through a whole, like, I think it's a college course or a degree or something, where she has to do coursework on something to do with film, and she decides to rip apart the romance genre. She does have, like, relationships. Independency isn't synonymous with relationships, but the things that Audrey does and the way she carries herself and the fact that she doesn't need Harry is amazing to me, and the fact that the ending ended the way that it did made me love Audrey even more. The next prompt is Leah. Pick an underrated side character.
Hi, Leah. What's up?
Oh, wow. Oh, nice to meet you.
Did we just hug? I couldn't feel anything.
I mean, we definitely hugged.
I'm just kidding. I felt it a tiny bit. It was okay.
For this prompt, I have picked Daisy from Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Not only is she obsessed with Star Wars, and her name is Daisy, and that is the actress's name who plays Rey in Star Wars. Brilliantly done, John Green. Brilliantly done. Daisy is so funny, and she can sometimes be really, like, wisdomy? Is that a word? Like, full of wisdom? And I feel like Leah can be exactly the same as that. So Daisy and Leah are both very, very underrated. The next prompt is the Devons. I went there.
Don't get him worked up. It's very bad for his blood pressure.
Oh my god.
An OTP that everyone else ships, but you just don't get, like, the Devons. No. My answer for this one is a little bit weird because I was going to say Clary and Jace, but I think I talk about the Mortal Instruments and the Shadowhunterverse a little bit too much in this video. I don't think these end up endgame, and I don't think everybody ships them. And that is Julia and Adam from Shatter Me by Tahara Murphy. Why are they even together? Don't lie to yourself. This is insta-love shit, and just because you can touch someone don't mean that you should be in a relationship with them. I don't see it. Maybe I should read the entire series and then make my mind up, but for now, it's just fucking no. The next prompt is surrounding the ghost of Duke Ellington. So this is where we're going to pick a book or several books that you haven't read yet that have been haunting you and you need to get read.
Prince, I'm so sad that you died.
Hey, what about us?
We're all dead here.
All dead.
So I've picked 3 books for this one. You can pick 1, you can pick 2, you can pick 3 like me. But the first one I'm going to be talking about that has been haunting me is The Astonishing Colour of After by Emily XR Pan. I believe this is about mental health, and it's about a girl who loses her mum unfortunately to suicide, and she believes that she's coming back as a bird to send her messages, and she basically just follows this bird because she believes it's her mum. And I've heard that it's really good rep, it's really emotional, and I really can't wait to get to it. The second book that's been haunting me is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I also believe this is about mental health / mental illness. I'm not sure exactly what parts, but I'm still very excited to read this, and it is on my Reading with the Seasons spring TBR if you've watched that. If you're not, I will link it below. And the final book that's been haunting me is What I Lost by Alexandra Ballard, also one that is kind of like mental health themed. I believe it's about eating disorders. I feel like it's going to be a very relevant read to me because I've been struggling with my body image a lot recently, like for the past few years. It's kind of crept back up on me, and I just feel like it's going to benefit me in so many ways because I could really use a book like this right now. The next prompt is for The Shame Wizard. Name a book, series, character, anything to do with bookish that is a guilty pleasure.
Shame, shame, making life just a little bit lame. A healthy dose of sweet self-loathing.
This question taught me that I don't really have a lot of bookish guilty pleasures. I just kind of read whatever I want to read. But something that I have been like accused of having a guilty pleasure over is the Undercover Princess like trilogy. Is that trilogy by Connie Glynn? So that is Undercover Princess and Princess in Practice. I haven't read this one yet, but I have read this one. I really liked them, and I feel like they're a little bit of a guilty pleasure because not a lot of people like them, and I didn't actually know that. So, and the last prompt is from a character you probably are not expecting, and that is Gustavo.
Fatima knew that if her father caught her running down to the stables at this hour, he would forbid her from studying at La Universidad. But was it her fault that she craved a ride?
Fatima, come to me.
Pick a bookish hottie. It's no coincidence that they're both from the fucking Shadowhunter universe. The first one is Will Herringdale from the Imperial Devices series. I would literally let Will punch me in the face. The second and last one is also from the Shadowhunterverse, and that is Isabel, aka Izzy, from the Mortal Instruments, and I would fucking let Isabel whip me with her whip. Oh my god. So there is my original Big Mouth book tag. There are 13 questions. It's quite a long tag to film. I kind of found it hard to pick specific books for this and specific characters because they're very specific in what they want the questions are. So if you need to adapt the questions to you or you need to cheat a little bit, honestly, that's fine. The questions will be down in the description box below, as well as the people's links that I'm about to tag if you want to join in. The people that I tag are Waverly over at Waverly Reads, who I seem to tag in every single one, but she said that she wanted to do it, so here we go. And also Lika from Life with Lika. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I've googled it and I've also messaged her about it, and she's told me to pronounce it Lika. I don't know. Both of the links to their channels will be down in the description box below if you want to go and check them out. If you're seeing this and want to do this and haven't been tagged, go ahead, just credit me because I haven't seen anyone create anything else. If there is an original idea, I really apologise. I don't mean to step on anyone's toes. So yeah, that was my Big Mouth book tag, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!
You've got a face for a smile, you know. A shame you're wasted when you're breaking me slowly. But I've got a word